East is the Honorable Babu Ongeli, member for Embakasi East.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the report, the 23rd report of the Public Investment Committee on the audited financial statements of state corporation, and the committee, which is chaired by the indomitable, the indefatigable, the lion-hearted, the fearless, the courageous member of Parliament from Vita constituency, Honorable Abdul Swamad, who doubles to be the next governor of Mombasa County. May God's will be done. Mr. Speaker, on this we came up with certain observations in our committee, and number one, we saw that there are delays in availing documents to the Auditor General. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as we know, one of the maxims of equity states that delay defeats equity. Therefore, we urge the CEOs to comply with the provisions of Section 68, subsection 2 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 to ensure that they act with Godspeed to present the documents that will be helpful in our investigation. Number two, Mr. Speaker, the procurement process is so much flawed, and we know that when it's flawed, Mr. Speaker, it is against the Public Procurement Assets and Disposal Act. And Mr. Speaker, this leads to inflation of projects' costs, and it can also lead to delay in completion of the said projects. Mr. Speaker, the third issue is about the court matters. In the court, Mr. Speaker, there's a lot of delays, and therefore there should be fast expedition of cases in court. And number two, the CEOs, before taking matters before a court of law, before involving themselves in litigation, they should embrace the ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution Mechanisms, which is enshrined in Article 159 of the 2010 Kenyan Constitution, which is the apex of the law in this land, and whoever goes against that apex of the law becomes inconsistent and repugnant to the natural laws and justice. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, is about the ownership of property and land. And in this, Mr. Speaker, we noted that most state corporations, they don't possess title deeds. And as a result, this leads to most of these state corporations not coming up with projects, because you cannot start a project on a land that does not belong to you, Mr. Speaker. And lastly is about the financial performance. Mr. Speaker, most of these state corporations, they are limping financially. And without the help of the national government, they don't have the internal generated funds that can help them at least fund their projects. And as a result, very soon, Mr. Speaker, most of these state corporations will be insolvent. And Mr. Speaker, with that, I rest my case and support with all my body parts and organs. Thank you.
The Honorable Babu, the member for Embakasi East, is always an interesting one to listen to. The Honorable